Hello YouTube, this is Metaljedipirate. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be doing a fantasy booking for Download Festival 2025. Now, if you're into the strange brand form of entertainment, that is myself, then consider hitting that subscribe button, and let's crack on, shall we? So today is the 9th of November, and the official release date for the lineup will be on Tuesday the 12th of November. So we've only got a couple of days to go. And apparently there's been a leak which the headliners of Sleep Token, Green Day and Linkin Park have sort of been pushed forward and are most likely to be the headliners. I think that's okay. I'm not really sure on Sleep Token being quite so high up. They have genuinely risen quite quickly. It wouldn't surprise me if they were at least like maybe headlining like the second stage to begin with. But Green Day I can see, Linkin Park I can see because obviously they've just come back. But it will be interesting for Sleep Token if they are actually headlining the main stage. I think they do deserve it, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was second stage more than main stage, to be fair. It's only a couple of years ago they were, I think, on second stage, a little bit lower down. So I think that would be interesting to see. Last time I did this, I only did 15 bands. I did five, maybe six per stage, and I only did main stage only. But this time I'm doing 30 bands, so it's 5 bands per stage per day. So we are going to start off with Friday on the second stage. So opening Download Festival Friday will be Opal in Sky. Now, obviously they have only just started touring because obviously the twins from Canada do all the metal meme stuff. I really enjoy their videos. I think they make great music. Have only just started touring. They've only just started making proper videos, and I think it would be great to see them sort of come over and do a big festival. Probably if they were originally booked, I think they'd probably end up doing like a tent, but because this is a fantasy booking and I'm only doing 2 stages, I thought I'd bung them on at least first on the second stage. I think they'd pull in a good enough crowd. I think they'll be highly entertaining. I've seen a small couple of clips of their live stuff and they seem pretty good. So I think that will be a great way to open a festival. Next up is the UK-based rock band Black Spiders. Now, these guys are one of my favourite bands, but I don't think they're quite as well known as many sort of obviously bigger bands would be, but I think they should be bigger because they are really good, really solid. They put on an absolute brilliant show, and out of all the times I've seen them live, they have never ever disappointed. So next up, band number 3 out of 5 on the second stage is Amaranth, and they again are a band I've never seen live, always wanted to. I can't remember the last time they did a UK tour. When I saw they announced they did a UK tour, but they are a band that has really grown on me in the last couple of years, and a band I'd love to see. They're heavy enough. They've got electronic music, got all sorts of stuff. 3 singers, which I think is really, really cool as well. So next up, a bit of a change. We've got some sort of drum and bass alternative rock with Pendulum. Again, they are a band that I've enjoyed for a little while and recently got back into, actually. I've really enjoyed listening to some of their stuff. And I think after Amaranth, because they've got the sort of electronical elements in their songs, Pendulum will be sort of like a nice fit afterwards, because obviously it's more like drum and bass alternative rock elements to it all. And I think that will kind of fit on nicely. And then that leads into main act for second stage on a Friday, which is Skindred. Now, I put on my previous booking, Skindred on main stage, second from headliner. But I thought at this point it would be so cool just to give them a headline slot. They absolutely deserve it, and every time they do, they completely pull a crowd. So I think they deserve it. They're literally a download staple at this point, and it would not surprise me within the next few years if they don't have a headline slot on second stage, or even opening maybe like Friday night on main stage. Give it a couple of years, they will be there. So that's second stage. You've got Opening Sky, Black Spiders, Amaranth, Pendulum, and Skindred. So main stage, opening up main stage on a Friday, is Electric Callboy. Now, this is a great way to open Download Festival with the fun techno metal happy Germans. I couldn't think of a better way, to get my day started than listen to some Electric Callboy. They are absolutely fantastic. Their techno album is absolutely amazing, and from the stuff that I've seen of them live, I just would absolutely love to see them open Download Festival, and I genuinely think they are on track to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Next up, you've got Shinedown. They have always been a fairly stable band of Download. They've always been in that sort of middle category of being on main stage, basically anywhere sort of between sort of first and last sort of act to be on, but they've never hit that sort of next bit up. But they are a really enjoyable band to watch. They are really good live, so that's kind of why I put them where I put them. Next up, third band on the lineup is Clutch. Now, there's so many people that like Clutch, and they are such a good band. I don't think there is like as big as some other bands, but they kind of have like a little bit of a cult following, because there's so many people that like them and enjoy them, and they're always just fantastic to watch. I've watched them at Download. I've watched them several times live, and they are fantastic. Next up is Airborne. So I've kind of kept it very sort of like rock more orientated for the Friday. I think Airborne is a great band. They are absolutely fucking nuts when they play live. They are a lot of fun to watch, and again, they are very entertaining and put on a solid show. So I think that really nicely sort of leads on to my main stage Friday headliner, which is Slash. So it'll be Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. The reason why I've picked this, and I think people will probably disagree that they're maybe not quite big enough, but when you think about it, you've got Slash, you've got Miles Kennedy, which is obviously Alter Bridge. You've got stuff from Velvet Revolver, you've got stuff from Guns N' Roses, his own stuff. He's done stuff with Lemmy, he's done stuff with Ozzy, he's done stuff with Iggy Pop, Alice Cooper, even Fergie. There's a lot of stuff that Slash has done, and so many people know his stuff. Not necessarily as a solo act, but just everything that he's done musically, he's done so much. And I think that, they do play quite a lot of the Guns N' Roses stuff. So it's Guns N' Roses without being 3 hours of Axl Rose. Continuously changing costumes and stuff like that. And they play a nice mixture of, like I say, they'll play the Velvet Revolver stuff, they'll play the Guns N' Roses stuff, and they'll play the really awesome, solo stuff as well. They always seem to pick the right songs that go into each other, and it just mixes really, really well. So this is why I think that Slash should be a headline act, because he's always been either second stage headliner or next to sort of like headline anyway. So he's nearly there, but it just needs to be pushed up just that little bit further. Right, so we are now moved on to Saturday. So opening Saturday on the second stage is a band called Bootyard Bandits. Now, this is a band that I've done a reaction for on the channel. I will leave that link at the end so you can check that out. And I think they are absolutely fantastic. They're based in Worcester here in the UK. And they are sort of like Western country themed, but sort of like very heavy rock based, sort of country Western themed, if that makes sense. So a rock band, but have a Western theme about them, and they are just a lot of fun. I saw them a couple of years ago supporting Ailstorm and Gloryhammer, and they were fantastic. They weren't a band I was expecting to like. I thought, okay, Bootyard Bandits, that sounds interesting. I saw them and they absolutely blew me away. So I think they would be a great start. They're a great sort of like comedy band to an extent. They're not like, taking themselves really, really seriously, but they're not like overly comedy. So I think they're like perfect to get people in after the long day of Download Friday. So the next band up is Florence Black. Now, I saw this band last year at Made of Stone Festival, and they were really, really good. I listened to them, and then I was like, wow, this is like some really good heavy rock that I need. And they've been slowly growing ever since. They did play Download last year. I can't remember if it was main stage or second stage. That I'm not 100% sure of. But they just seem to be growing in popularity, and I think they're going to grow. And they're a band that I've really enjoyed since I found out who they were. Both their albums that they've released are fantastic. Next up is Soil. Now, Soil is one of those bands that I always seem to forget about, but then when I listen to them, I think, wow, these guys are really good. So, I've added Soil in because Florence Black is quite heavy, but it's not overly heavy, and then Soil's not like overly heavy as well. So it kind of fits within sort of what we've got already, because Bootyard Bandits is quite heavy rock. Florence Black is heavy rock. Then Soil is just a little bit heavier than Florence Black, and they kind of fit in that middle, and a nice sort of kind of new old school sort of new metal-y sort of sound just fits in perfectly for where they are, and they're just a good band to watch. Every time I've seen them, they've never put on a bad show. So next up, act number 4 on Saturday for Download 2025, I have put one of my favourite bands at the moment, Orbit Culture. I cannot say a bad thing about this band. They are absolutely fantastic. Their last album, Descent, was fucking brilliant. I saw them supporting Trivium last year. They were so good, and I'm so happy that they will be playing the Poisoned Ascendancy tour come February with obviously them as support to Bullet and Trivium. So that is going to be fantastic, and they are just so good live. And as you can see, that I've just started getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. But on the Saturday main stage headliner, I have put Blackstone Cherry. The reason why I've put this here is because it's where it fits better with the overall bands. I really was thinking about putting them on main stage as headliners, and I thought, actually no, I want to put them as second stage headliners, because I think they deserve it, and I think they do actually deserve to be main stage headliners. They just need a little bit more growth, and they will eventually get there. But I think at the moment they're going to be second stage headliners, or they're going to be very near the top on the main stage. They've just got to push that a little bit further, and I think they will eventually do it. But that's why I've put them there, because it makes most sense for the way that I've worked out stuff for the other bands, because it was genuinely quite hard to place the bands. But overall, I've had quite fun doing it. So, main stage Saturday, we start off with, again, one of my favourite bands, Avatar. I, again, cannot say a bad word about this band. I absolutely enjoy their stuff. The reason why they're opening is because I don't think they're big enough to be put on further down the line. As much as I think they, they do a good job, I don't think they're quite there yet with how big they are. They are still a growing band. More people are coming to them, more people are finding out who they are, and that is why they are opening Saturday on main stage. Don't get me wrong, I would love to put them on, main stage headliner on, any day on main stage, but they're not they're not that big. So I think they're only going to grow. I think they will eventually get there, but obviously they're just going to start working their way up through main stage. I mean, hell, I'd even give them a spot on second stage headliner. I think that'd be fantastic. They generally put in quite a big crowd. Most of the people who like them really, really enjoy them. And I am one of those people. So next up, we have Spirit Box. Again, nothing bad to say about that. Again, they're growing in numbers, and I think putting them there, they deserve the main stage slot. So they're only getting bigger. Obviously, they've announced a couple of shows here in the UK, big headline tour throughout the UK. So that, again, they are a growing band, and I think that'll be fun. Next up, I've put Alice Cooper. Now, I probably could have put them higher. But I thought I'd put them in the middle, because obviously Alice Cooper's a little bit older now. I don't think they'll quite get the headline spots anymore. But he's really good live. He does a fantastic show, and I think that most of his days of doing festivals, if he does do festivals anymore, it won't be sort of headline spots. And I mean, again, there's only so many times I could put people on second stage headliners, and I thought the ones that I have put, so far Skin Dread and Blackstone Cherry, are the ones that would deserve it more. But again, nothing bad to say about Alice Cooper, only cool stuff. So next up is Architects. So I've put Architects on second to last, because I think they have grown massively. Obviously, they did Bloodstock last year, but obviously with Download being a much, much bigger festival, I think they've kind of got that sort of pull at the moment, but I don't think they've got the grasp of pulling in such a big crowd for sort of like the Download festival size. But obviously, I think they're a fantastic band. I'd love to see them live, which would be why I've booked them sort of where they are. So, Saturday headliner is Pantera. Yes, I've put Pantera on there because I looked at the lineup last year and thought, why are Pantera not headlining? That's an interesting one. They've been away for a very, very long time. The reunion that we all wanted, especially with Vinnie Paul, never got to happen. So now it's time for Pantera to actually headline a big festival. And again, they are one of my favourite bands, and I don't see why they shouldn't be on the festival lineup. They'd be so good, and from what the footage I've seen, the current version of Pantera is fantastic. Obviously, it's not the version we all wanted, but it's the version we've got, and if ticket prices weren't like 80, 90 quid a pop, then I probably would go and see them at Wembley in February. But it is what it is. But you know, they'd be one of these bands that would definitely pull a crowd at Download Festival, and I'm pretty sure they did last year as well. But they definitely deserve that headline spot. So we are finally on the final day of the Download Festival Fantasy booking lineup, and opening Sunday on the second stage is the band Spirit World. Like most bands that I've put on this list, they are not one that I think is quite as well known. They are quite a heavy sort of Western themed band. Not quite like Bootyard Bandits, they are a lot heavier. Kind of reminds me like it's like a mix of like several bands. So it's like they're quite like Slayer-ish and you know sort of Pantera-ish and like Hatebreed, and they're like if you got like several bands and just mix them into one, then that would be Spirit World, and their music is so good. I heard it and I was instantly hooked. Instantly. And from the videos that I've seen live, they look really, really good, and I want them to come over to the UK to do a tour. But they haven't yet, so this is why I've put them on opening day of Sunday on second stage, because they're not big enough to be put on the main stage just yet. Next up is the band Seven Spires. They are another band that I found through reaction videos. They, from what I've seen, again, are fantastic live. They have some really cool songs. My favourites at the moment is Gods of Debauchery and Cabaret of Dreams. They are sort of the two favourites of all the ones that I've listened to. Again, they're another growing band. I think they're a little bit bigger than what Spirit World would be, but I think they deserve that spot on the second stage. They can only grow from here. Next up in the middle of the day is Chorizas. Now they're a band, as far as I know, that haven't released any music since like 2013. So obviously they've got a couple albums to go off. They're a band that I really want to see live, and I love their cover of Rasputin. I love Battle Metal, Stand Up a Fight, all sorts of, the stuff that they've done, and the fact that they're all, folk singers with the red and black paint across, I think is absolutely fantastic, and I think they'd be a great addition, sort of in the middle, to break some bits up and just add some bit more folkier music in, but still keep it heavy and fun. Next up, so final normal sort of band before our second stage headliner is Slaughter to Prevail. Now, I don't really need to say anything about this, I think, because most people know who Slaughter to Prevail are. They are a really fast growing band at the moment. They've played Download a couple of times before, I do believe. I think one they played in the tent, then they played second stage. So I think I've bumped them up a little bit. I think within the next couple of years, they will be second stage headliner, and then I think they'll move on to eventually being sort of... I think they'll adapt and grow, and eventually they will headline Download Festival. It would not surprise me if they eventually get that far, because their sound adapts so much. I'm not talking like 2 years, I'm maybe talking like 10, but we will get there. Obviously, they will get there eventually. And again, everything that I've heard, they are fantastic live, and I would love to see it. So, second stage headliner for Sunday is Ice Nine Kills. Again, another one of my favourites. It's really hard doing these sort of fantasy bookings, because if I were to ever go and actually watch this, I just wouldn't know who to watch, because I want to watch this one, I want to watch this one, I want to watch this one. So I've picked Ice Nine Kills. I watched them recently, so it was April, and they were absolutely fantastic. Their stage show is brilliant. They obviously are very horror based. They've just released a new song, Work of Art, for the new Terrifier movie, which I've still got to watch those. And they just add so many small little bits into their songs that all like the references. If you've seen these movies, you'll get. And they are absolutely fantastic live. They put on a fantastic show, and they really sort of suck you in and get you involved. It's great. This is why I think they'd be a perfect second stage headliner. So we head into Sunday main stage now. And opening Sunday will be Dimmu Borgir. So black metal legends, Dimmu Borgir. A band I've always wanted to see. And I know they've obviously played Download before. So they've always been on main stage. But I thought I'd open them up. Start you off your Sunday with some black metal. So next up is Ailstorm. Always a good, fun band to watch. They always like to have a party, be it a pirate party, but they are always good, fun to watch with giant rubber ducks. So next up, Bleed From Within. So Bleed From Within played last year as well. I've added them on in the middle. I sort of wanted to chop and change a few bits while I was making this list, and I put Bleed From Within originally on Saturday, but I changed them over with Alice Cooper, so I swapped them round. And I think this is better placed because sort of the way that it's actually worked out for me, I think it's worked out nicely the way that I've actually ranked how the day would go. And I think Bleed From Within is sort of one of those bands that is now steadily growing. They're getting much, much bigger, and I think there will be a staple of Download going forward. So I think they deserve the spot where they've been placed. Next up is our favourite Viking death metalers, Amon Amarth. I don't think I've seen Amon Amarth before, if I remember rightly, but they are a band I really, really want to see, and I think they put on an absolutely fantastic show from what I've seen. I genuinely think, obviously, because they've done Bloodstock and stuff like that, I think they will get to a point where they will actually headline Download at some point. It wouldn't surprise me if it's within the next couple of years that they sort of bump these bands up. From what I tell, they've always put on a great show. They've got a great stage show. They've got all the big sort of giant inflatable Vikings. They have the people come on with all the shields and the axes. It's really, really cool. So, Sunday headliner. I think it's one that is sort of long overdue and should have been done for a while. So Sunday headliner is Limp Bizkit. Now, obviously, they were very popular last year, and there were people saying, why haven't Limp Bizkit headlined Download Festival? This is why I've put them there, because I think they deserve it, and I think they're on the way back up. They've been sort of not around for a little while, and then they're coming back into the forefront of music. New metal renaissance is kind of happening at the moment. I had debating putting Korn on there. However, I thought I put Korn on there last time, so I thought I'd do something different. But Limp Bizkit, I think, really deserve sort of the headline slot on the Sunday. Out of all of them, I think that would be where they should be. Right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll just give you a run through of all the bands and what stages are on. So, Friday second stage, you've got Opening Sky, Black Spiders, Amaranth, Pendulum, and headlining is Skindred. Main stage Friday, you've got Electric Callboy, Shinedown, Clutch, Airborne, and headlining is Slash. Saturday, second stage is Bootyard Bandits, Florence Black, Soil, Orbit Culture, and headlining is Blackstone Cherry. Main stage Saturday opening is Avatar, then Spirit Box, Alice Cooper, Architects, and headliners Pantera. Sunday opening is Spirit World, then you've got Seven Spires, Teresa, Slaughter to Prevail, and headlining on second stage is Ice Nine Kills. Opening Sunday main stage is Dimmu Borgir, then you've got Ailstorm, Bleed From Within, Amon Amarth, and final headliners Limp Bizkit. So let me know what you think down in the comment section of my fantasy booking. Obviously, I know it will not be to everyone's liking, but this is only a little bit of fun nonetheless. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know what you think the actual download lineup is going to be. Let me know what you know, even if you just put down a small, what you think what you put as your headliners, if you did download fantasy booking. So thank you all very much for watching, and we shall see you all on the next video. Bye bye.